Alright?
Hiya, mate.
You alright?
I've been standing with my angels. They've been telling me of great new beginnings. I've been standing with my angels. Oh, we about to make you familiar. Away I go, reading the sentence of my devotional. This image of love and pain is engulfing me. Cut their hand trying to reach me under the rose bushes. Hopefully they see the stem of my hope fully rooted in my soul. The flower buds of an oak, gravitational pull. The fruit fell further than they ever could have known. Immune, my tree tall enough to shelter from the storm. A loot, see me walk with their periphery, you ignore, subdue. An opponent when I grip him by his jaw, you hardly can win. A poison ivy and dart for the split. Them thorns divided in the minute that I spawn. I'm flora, not the fauna. Foliar, not the trees. Shrubbery, not the grass. And lavender, not the leaves. I am bush, the hands rock. And bishop turn, I'm stood standing and stand stood. That's in his word. I spoke a word from the handbook and Billy heard it. Backs onto the front, but that could be Damien. 80 omens of all tags. It's miscellaneous, I'll be dodging the cold rag. I hit the rain with an umbrella and forward. Only miss the freeze by an inch, cause my heart's boiling. I reach in the dark void and pull the world out. Lend me your hand, they say the earthbound. Clock stays waving his hand. Put the word out, Justice League. Forget everyone, it's just this league. Superheroes what the public needs. This episode ain't lost this week. I'm saving everybody on this beach. I can only pray to God with me. In the flowing rain, all the ships on the other side of the poker table. They ain't got a dime and a heart to give, but they club on my cartilage while they digging dirt and they throw the spade. A clone car could jam my pockets and fold a game. It's oblivion cycles round and it rotates. It's got me praying you will root for me too. I pulled it out of the ground, won't let the cycle repeat. I got a new 52. Let the Ryan never change me. Me and Remus alike, go to the trunks. If the Ryan never changed, tell them go to the trunks. It's for the bodies that try scoping above, but their alignment's weak. I took the iron surprise and they sweet them. Still your brothers, you got this motive for motion and wide and you thinking, getting you freeze my body. City, you don't get it, you freeze my body in a cryogenic sleep. I could wake up, travel to the cave's absent. The same patterns and it's havoc in the states. And I'm boy them, coming for your blood and grab and putting that heavy duty doors to the magnet and it breaks. And they all go crazy, all go crazy. I never wanted nothing but the best for him, Lord, I'll save him, Lord, I'll save him. I can feel it heavy in my chest when they talk outrageous. I don't wanna talk outrageous, just out more libations. I've been through what they won't and I made it. Walking round with angels and you all look crazy, you all look crazy. I never wanted nothing but the best for him, Lord, I'll save him, Lord, I'll save him. I can feel it heavy in my chest when they talk outrageous. I don't wanna talk outrageous, just out more libations. I've been through what they won't and I made it. Walking round, I've been running to my breakthrough. I won't stop until I break that red ribbon. Tell the devil I'll escape you. Tell the reverend not to pray, Lord be with me. I've been standing with my angels. They've been telling me of great new beginnings. I've been standing with my angels. Oh, we about to make you familiar.
Yeah, we're good, thanks. I'm Josh from MMA Unhinged, and I'm with my colleague Lenny from MMA Unhinged. So I want to say, like, thanks for taking the time to do this with and that.
Mate, anytime.
Cheers. Right. So, do you want to just get straight into it?
Yeah, mate. Let's get straight into it.
So, the first question was how did you actually get into MMA? What made you start it?
I originally started when I was 16, or 15 or 16. I just left school. I'd always been a fan of the UFC and MMA and mixed martial arts. And if I'm honest, mate, I didn't want to work for a living on a building site for the rest of my life, because at the time I just started doing labouring work and I was learning carpentry. And I was watching videos of MMA fighters such as Demetrius Johnson, Brad Pickett, who I'm working with. And they were saying about how they didn't get into the sport till they were in their sort of late teens. Brad was about 26 when he got into it. And I was watching the UFC and I was seeing these guys make a living out of the sport. And for me, it's always been a dream to be an athlete. I've always wanted to be into sports. I've always been an athletic kid. And there's not many sports you can start at the age of 15, 16 and make a living out of. So, I just kind of put two and two together, went along training with my dad because he was doing jiu-jitsu at the time. And, I was like a duck to water, mate. I love the competition. I love the, how competitive the sport is. And, I just kind of fell in love with it.
Okay, so recently you just lost a TKO victory to John Dodson, which I thought was a premature stoppage. But how do you see yourself bouncing back from that loss?
Oh, mate, you only learn from a loss. You know, as John Kavanagh says, you win or you learn. You know, since the fight, I'm already back in the gym, and if I wasn't already working hard enough, I am now. You know, I'm getting every attention to detail on how I can rectify this loss. You know, I've got the best coaches in that I still work with now. But, you know, I've actually sat down with them and we're focusing more on what went wrong, etc. So, yeah, you know, I'm going to come back from this loss a better athlete. And hopefully one day, you know, I'll be able to get a rematch with John Dodson and, you know, I can get that win.
All right, so talking about the fight, do you think the stoppage was a bit, like, premature, like, a bit early? Or do you think it should have been...
For me, watching it, you know, I can understand that the ref doesn't know if I'm hurt or not. So, you know, he might stop the fight. But for me, I know how much I can take, and I knew that I was good as gold. You know, I was still in the fight. I've been hit harder in the gym. I've been hit harder in fights before, and I've come back and won those fights. So, you know, there's two types of, in my eyes, knockouts or getting rocks. There's the shots that, you know, they wobble you and they make your brain, you know, start ringing and they hurt. You know, that's what Johnny Eduardo caught me with. That's what Josh Reed caught me with. And they're the ones that, you know, kind of, in a way, put damage on your brain. The one that John Dodson caught me with is what I call a flash knockdown. So he catches you and your legs go under you and it's just like a quick click of the fingers and then you're good to go. You know, I've had that in the gym before. But, you know, as I was trying to get up, obviously he was throwing as many shots as he was throwing, which, if I'm honest, there was no power behind them. You know, there was no precision in them. They weren't really doing any damage at all. But having him kind of jumping on me like that, you know, was obviously just stalling me from getting up. So, you know, obviously the ref, I guess, had to jump in from what he was seeing, but I don't recall the ref saying any kind of, right, Nathaniel, you know, you need to defend yourself, or any kind of warning. So whilst I was getting those shots on the floor, you know, I was kind of still trying to work back to my feet. But, you know, I'm not, I'm humble in victory, humble in defeat. So, you know, I'll come back from it. You know, it's MMA, you live by the sword or you die by the sword.
So recently you and Marlon Vera went back and forth on Twitter. And recently he just got booked by Eddie Wyman. Do you see him not wanting to fight you?
Mate, that guy is doing everything he can to not fight me. You know, he's been talking shit to me for a long time now, since my debut. But every opportunity he has to fight me, he comes up with some excuse. You know, whether it's, I think I said to him once, if he waits till August, we can fight. This was last year, and he said, no, I want to fight in July. Well, what's a month's difference? Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, he's playing the whole, oh, no, you just lost card. Well, the guy that he was meant to be fighting, Jimmy Rivera, has 2 losses on the trot. So, you know, it's kind of, I can understand if someone has a valid excuse as to, right, I want to, you know, fight someone better and work my way up the rankings, cool. But the other day he was moaning that he didn't have a fight. You know, he's obviously got Eddie Wyman now, who's a veteran in the sport, but Eddie Wyman isn't ranked in the top 15. So, you know, he's kind of contradicting things he's saying, and, you know, I think he's just trying to avoid the fight with me because, you know, he keeps saying about fighting me, but every opportunity he has to fight me, he doesn't sign contracts. So, yeah, it is what it is with that one, but, you know, I'm starting to get tired of his shit.
So, so how come you didn't get on the UFC London card? Because there was a lot of people surprised that you didn't get on. Do you think there's still a chance to get on there, or not?
Yeah, I'm still putting my name forward. I'm still staying ready for it. Obviously, I know the card's full, but I believe I'm first on the list. You know, if there's any kind of pullouts or if there's any changes to the card. I'm assuming the reason why I wasn't matched on it originally was just that they probably needed someone to fight John Dodson in his hometown. And, you know, I guess it was a matchup that made sense. So, you know, I'm hoping that I can still get on that card. I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go. I just, you know, I'm just going to stay in shape now, keep my weight down, and, you know, hopefully get that call.
The bantamweight division is stacked at the moment. Who do you see holding the title end coming year?
If Henry Cejudo, obviously he defends it against Aldo. It's a tricky one for me to judge that. But I think either one of them will lose the title soon, regardless. You know, I think Aljamain Sterling could have it for a while. Obviously, Peter Yan, he's been on a bit of a tear. But, you know, I reckon Aljamain Sterling might have it soon. And I hope he does as well, you know, because I like the guy. I know him personally as well. And he deserves that shot.
So you mentioned Cejudo and Aldo there. The fight has been announced now, I think, for UFC 250. What is your prediction for that? Like, who do you see winning that?
Mate, it's a really tricky one for me because, you know, I don't see Aldo, even though obviously he just fought Marlon Moraes and he didn't get the win, but, you know, he definitely won. For me, I can't see him doing well at bantamweight. You know, I do think that he's kind of losing that chin now. You know, he's on the end of his kind of career, and that drop to bantamweight I don't think is going to be doing him any favours. But he's a lot bigger than Henry Cejudo. You know, Henry Cejudo is a flyweight, really, and Aldo is a featherweight in my eyes. So it'll be very interesting to see. But I kind of feel like Henry Cejudo is the more athletic fighter, and he's going to be able to go on longer in the rounds. So, you know, I think Henry Cejudo is going to do it. But I hope Aldo does it. You know, I'm a big fan of Aldo since, you know, the WEC days, and, you know, it'd be nice to see him champ at the same weight division that I'm at.
Going throughout your whole career, what would be one moment would be the greatest achievement in your career so far?
My greatest achievement would probably be, obviously, I guess, getting signed by the UFC, getting the bonus win on my debut. But my best memory to date so far is the London weigh-ins. It was a little bit different having people cheering you before your fight than opposed to after. You know, it was a really special moment for me, you know, when obviously I'm facing off with my opponent and I've got an absolute crowd behind me cheering my name. So for me, you know, that was one that I'll remember forever.
So so fast forward 5 years from now, where would you like to see yourself? Like, where do you plan to be?
Retired with a lot of money on a yacht. No, I'm joking. No, for me, you know, I'd like to think, obviously, that I'll get my hands on that UFC title. You know, in 5 years, what I'll be 31. You know, I'd just like to be healthy and competing and still doing what I love. And if I can, you know, then for me, that's a dream come true.
What's it like to be trained by a UK MMA legend like Brad One Punch Pickett?
Mate, it's surreal. You know, I still have to kind of remind myself now sometimes. I was watching this guy in the WEC days, you know, 10 years ago. You know, I was kind of a fanboy. I saw him once and, you know, it was, yay, Brad, and kind of give him a little wave. And now, you know, the guy's my coach. And not only is my coach, he's one of my best friends, you know. I see him as family, so, you know, for me it is quite surreal, but it just shows how lucky I am.
So obviously, what would you think your best aspect is in MMA? Like, what would you think you are the best at, if there is one? Like,
in a way, I'd like to say entertaining, you know, because for me, everyone says I'm a striker, but I actually started with grappling, and I'm pretty decent at grappling, you know, hence why I get some submission wins when they arise. But for me, I feel like my best attribute is knowing what the crowd want to see. You know, there's been times where, you know, I kind of now, after that John Dodson fight, thought to myself, man, if I just took him down, I would have probably just won that fight. But that's not me, you know. I am an athlete and I'm there to win, but I'm an entertainer, and I know that, you know, and I enjoy putting on a show for the crowd. So for me, you know, I'd like to think that I'm good at knowing when the crowd kind of need that little, that little something extra in the fight. And I watch a lot of other fighters, and I think some people need to learn how to kind of get the crowd going almost.
Going back to UFC London, if there was a chance that you could get on that card, would there be any name on the tip of your tongue that you would like to fight, or would it just be anyone who comes out?
For me, obviously, with it being 3 weeks out, anyone they give me, I'm going to jump at any opportunity they've got. Obviously, if I had picks of opponents, one would be Chito Vera, so I can shut him up. But if not, anyone that's ranked above me, really, John Dodson rematch, that would be bloody amazing. I don't know if he fancies coming over to London, but, I went to his hometown, so maybe he could come here and give me another shot.
Will you be attending UFC London?
If I'm not competing on it, then, I'll definitely be there for sure.
Oh, so there's a chance that we can get a photo with you then?
Yeah, of course there is.
So speaking of the Dodson fight, if you went in there again, what would you do differently? So if you got the match on UFC the London card, what would you do differently than last time?
For me, just ease back a little bit. Obviously, I was over aggressive, which is why I got caught. If I'm honest, with the cut above my eye, which I actually caught on a head clash. I was worried that they were going to stop the fight, because I knew it was in a real nasty place. It was right above my eye. So I kind of come out in that third round thinking, shit, I need to finish it before they stop the fight. And, obviously being over aggressive, you can just get countered sometimes, which I did. But the first and the second round, until I got that head clash, I'd like to think that it was going my way. So, I think I'd do similar sort of game plan, but less aggressive, and I'd probably put a little bit more grappling exchanges in. There was a couple of grappling exchanges we have, and I was actually surprised how weak he felt compared to me.
Heading into that third round with Dodson, do you believe you were 2 rounds up, or do you believe it was 1-1?
Watching it back, I would say I definitely won the first round, and obviously trying not to be biased. And the second round, I would say, was very close. So, if a judge said that he won the second round, cool, I'll let him have that. But also, if a judge said I won the round, I think that I'm entitled to say I did. Obviously, it didn't look great in the second round with that cut above my eye, but as I say, that was from a head clash. So yeah, I guess it comes down to whatever the judges think they saw.
I think that was our last question, so it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for giving our time, and we wish you luck in your next fight, wherever it may be.
Thank you, mate. You're very welcome, and thanks for having me.
Thanks.